Greetings. Long have I waited for your arrival, and finally this moment has come. I am Kerghan, first of the necromancers, voyager in the lands of the dead. I would think not. Although the presence of Aranax tells me you already know much of my tale, at least as much as he deemed necessary in order to bring you into his confidence. Very well. Hear my story and decide for yourself. I know that your road has been long, as has my own. Perhaps we might yet see eye to eye. In Arcanum, I was a mage of great power, the only human to ever sit on the great Elven Council. For 200 years I studied the magics of necromancy, the arts of physical and spiritual healing, the resurrection of the souls of the dead. Perhaps it is just the way of humans, but what I had seen and learned was not enough. I craved knowledge, felt the shadow of my own mortality, and so I looked deeper, and the secrets of black necromancy were shown to me. And I reveled in the truths I had uncovered, and I shared them with the council. That sad puppet council. They didn't know what to think, and how could they? These were new discoveries. There were no precedents, and they listened to Aranax over the voice of their own reason. Aranax. From the very beginning he hated me. Son of Nazrudan, proud elven heir to the leadership of the council. He saw my presence on the council as a travesty, a dishonor to the ways of magic. He waited for an opportunity to defame me, and when it came, he viciously attacked. My studies were of the souls of the dead. Once I had seen the darker side of necromancy, I began to speak with those souls, to animate the soulless, to quench the lives of the living. The bodies I experimented upon were already dead. If I raised their souls to again quench them, who is to say I didn't have the right? I'm no monster. I know that the line between good and evil is a gray one, and perhaps all of my actions weren't necessarily pure. But I never killed the living soul. And who are you or they to judge me? And banishment? Banishment for some questionable experiments? The council was prepared to exile me, to throw me out of their number. But no, the jealousy of Aranax turned them against me, forced their hand. His words became the evidence against me, and they sentenced me to the void. Yes, for the same crime on a grander scale. And when we met here in the void, I had become so much more powerful than he, and again he feared my words, and he made war against me. And now he is in chains, and this void has truly become his prison. Not so for me. In your world, your Arcanum, I was powerful. Perhaps the most powerful human magicka who has ever been. But to humans, cursed with our shortness of life, our brevity, what is this power? What can be learned in that impermanent spark that is our lives? Nothing. But here, in this so-called prison, there are no limits. There is no end. This place, this void, has no time as you know it. I've been here for more than 2,000 of your years, and yet I've aged not at all. I feel as I did the moment they sent me here, or as when the Dark Elves first called to me. Do you now see? Here I can do everything I did in your world. but I am unfettered by the chains of mortality that time hangs upon us. Yes, I know. Ironic, isn't it? It was on my ears that their feeble and pathetic cries had fallen. To me, Kerghan, who had defeated their master and thrown him in chains. Kerghan, who had manipulated them into subverting the Panari and weakening the wards. Kerghan, who used them to send me the dwarves of the Black Mountain clan, who have now finished the bridge back to Arcanum. I truly wish I could. My reasons for returning aren't what you'd think. I had no aspirations for power or domination like your companion Aranax did. Aspirations that I became the victim of. No. Those are the motivations of the living, and I no longer place myself among them. If only I could show you the places I've seen, you might understand the things I say. I've been to the desolate lands, wandered by those souls who still see the lands of the living, but wear the cloak of the dead. Blind to their own ends, they cry, passing through one another like shadows in the dying light of day. I've traveled to where souls rot in torment, pierced with the jagged shards of life and vision, clinging to memory, regrets of the flesh. I saw that this prison was of their own making, and the key was in unknowing, in release. And still, I traveled on. And finally, I came to the place where souls go to die, where the mirrored and worn spirits fall into an endless sea of gray, mirrored glass. And I lowered myself within, and lay there among them, and I almost did not return. And do you know what I found there? There, among the silent and battered shells of the innumerable? Peace, enlightenment, truth. Only then did I realize that this place, this life, is an abomination, a horrible distortion of the natural order. This life, who mothered pain and fear and envy, these twisted children who exist only because we are here to feed them, to nourish them. This life, this afterthought, a disturbance, a mere ripple in that great, dead sea, not even the cause, but merely an effect, sending these souls upward, screaming for release from the day they are torn from their waters. The effect of what? I do not know, nor do I care. Have you ever spoken with the dead, called to them from this side, pulled them from their silent rest? Do you know what it is that they feel? Pain. Pain when torn into this wakefulness, this reminder of the chaos from which they had escaped. Pain at having to live. There will be no more pain. There will be no more chaos.